G'day you cheeky dogs, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. In today's video we are going to be breaking down all of the information that we have been given so far from IMDb, from stills on Instagram and from podcasts as to what we should expect for these next 11 episodes for Bluey Season 3B or Part 2, whatever you want to call it really. If you're new to my channel, I do lots of Bluey content, animated content, Australia versus America content, so if any of that interests you, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Guys, I want to have an interview with Joe Brum, and the only way I can do that is if I can show them that I have a massive audience. With all of that being said, let's go and have a look at the very first episode that we know about, and that is Musical Statues, episode 27. So our synopsis for this reads, at the end of a long day, Bluey and her family are out of sync and out of sorts. So Mum gets everyone to play musical statues. If you haven't ever noticed before, the actual intro to Bluey is them playing musical statues. So I'm kind of glad that they're finally doing an episode about this. A lot of the stills we've gotten from this were from like the little teaser trailer and from the second official longer trailer, I guess. We can see them all playing. Bandit's the one pretending to be the DJ, calling Bingo Ringo, kind of like a Beatles reference, I think. And as I mentioned in my last video when I was reacting to these, we can see a few little different things happening in the lounge room there. There's a new lamp instead of the pineapple. The dog bone on the bench is missing. But other than that, that's really all that we can see going on and them just having a fun dance party. So then in episode 28, which will be out the following day, we have the episode Stories. Indy thinks she's no good because her model horse looks like a cow. But Calypso encourages her not to give up, so she tries to fix it with a little help from Winton. So thanks to BlueyPod on Instagram, we have a couple of still images from season 3, and one of these perfectly matches up with this episode Stories. So we can see Indy in the background there with her little model horse, and Winton, who is like super jacked. I am assuming this is a fantasy sequence or just maybe something funny going on. I don't know, but it is hilarious to see that he's obviously been hitting the gym. I do love that we can see Bluey and Rusty and one of the terriers there as well, and also Chloe looks like she's making an octopus, so a little like Easter egg there to the episode Octopus that she was in. We then have another still of them outside, and again it's the three girls, so Chloe, Indy and Bluey. So obviously, even though this is an episode, I guess, about Indy, the girls are also a little bit more involved in this episode too. Then our next episode is episode 29 called Puppets. I'm pretty sure you can guess who's in this. It is Unicorse. Bluey and Bingo teach Unicorse good manners so he can ask Mum on a date, but things go awry when Unicorse eats a tit. So we do see a few images of Unicorse from the trailer. So we see them, I guess they're doing this over the dinner table. So another kind of like dinner scene makes it a little bit easier, obviously, for animation if it's just set in one background. But I love it. I think Unicorse is hilarious. So I'm really excited to see another episode with Unicorse in it. Our next episode, number 30, is called Turtle Boy. Bingo finds a toy turtle at the playground and wants to take him home, but Dad says it's not the done thing. So again, we also have an image of this, so we can see Bandit and Bingo at the park. I love that we have like just a Bandit and Bingo episode. We had something similar with the episode Driving where it was just Chili and Bluey, so I like to see, you know, the different dynamics between each of the parents of the kids. It does look like in this though that Bandit is also playing with Turtle Boy, so I guess he's not setting a good example for Bingo in the first place, and then he has to like retract that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this episode. Our next one, episode 31, Onesies, the one I am the most looking forward to. So our synopsis, when Mum's sister Brandy comes over for a visit, she brings the kids onesies as a present, which has an unexpected effect on Bingo. We have a couple of different photos from this. Of course, the most obvious one is the picture of Brandy. The biggest thing I notice here is she has no grey fur. There's none going on her face, on her body, anywhere, which we know she is the older sister of Chili. I believe then that she doesn't have kids. I'm convinced that in the show, the grey hairs mean that you have kids because it's stressful and you lose a lot of sleep when you have small children. So I think that maybe we might not be getting any cousins or boy cousins from Brandy's side. We do, of course, though, see the onesies that she has brought the girls as, I guess, a gift. And I love the fact that we can see Bingo as like a little cheetah and Bluey as a zebra. I'm thinking maybe this might be the effect, like Bingo is like the predator and Bluey is the prey and she's chasing her around on the bike. So I don't know, it's gonna be interesting to see the type of dynamic we get there. Obviously as well, the dynamic between Chili and Brandy as sisters, and if we're gonna find out what happened, how they made amends, how long ago that argument or disagreement was, any information like that, I'm really excited to find out. I did make a whole theory video about it, so if you haven't seen it, I'll put a card up here and a link in the description box down below. I'm really curious to see if I was right or not. Our next episode is number 32, titled Dad. Bluey and Bingo hide under the house and spy on two mysterious tradies working in the backyard. For those of you who don't know, tradies is like a nickname we use in Australia for tradesmen, so usually like electricians, plumbers, things like that. We also have special nicknames for each of those. I think we maybe have like one photo of this, which is the girls with their mum like peeking over, like looking out the window. So I think that might be from that episode there. And there's a couple of other images that were released on Instagram that might fit in with this episode. I'm not sure, but I'll talk about those at the end of this video. Episode 33 is then Granny Mobile, which we've seen quite a little bit of already. So Muffin is playing grouchy granny at a garage sale, making Dad push her on an old mobility scooter. But when a real grouchy granny wants to buy it, Muffin won't budge. So the first trailer we obviously saw was of this episode. Basically, we know that the garage sale is at Doreen's place next door, so we're assuming the mobile belongs to Doreen. We saw as well that like Chattermax and the Long Dog were in the scene, like over in the far corner. I love that this is the debut of Muffin being a granny, which is really cool. So I think this is going to be one of those really hilarious episodes. But I'm also curious, like maybe we'll see Socks pretending to be a granny too. That could be really interesting. Our next one, episode 34, is called Space. Mackenzie, Jack, and Rusty are playing as astronauts on a mission to Mars. But during their journey, Mackenzie keeps going missing and no one knows why, not even Mackenzie. So we do have one still photo for this from Instagram, so we can see all three boys sitting in the boat, so obviously they're pretending this at school. I love that we're getting a boy-centric episode, because we've only really gotten that with Rusty and Jack before in the past, and it's only been like one, I guess you could count 2 episodes with Explorers in season 3 as well. But I really love that. I'm sure they're going to just focus really on the 3 boys together, and I think that's great to sort of, again, balance it out a little bit. Also, a little fun fact is that Mackenzie has space sheets, which we see in the episode Fruit Bat, which I'm about to do a breakdown video of actually, so that'll be out later this week. But you can see on his bed sheets that he's got planets all over them, so he obviously loves space. So I think he fits really well into this episode. Episode 35 then is Smoochie Kiss. Bluey and Bingo want Dad all to themselves and won't let Mum have a smoochie kiss. But when they try and hide him around the house, they discover that Dad has some gross habits. So I feel like this is a reverse on the episode Restaurants, and I love that they again use the word smoochie kiss. If you don't know, smoochie has actually been censored in a couple of different countries. So in India and Sri Lanka, I know for sure it has been censored. I'm wondering if Ludo Studios did this on purpose, calling this episode Smoochie Kiss, because I know Joe Brum has said in interviews before that he gets a bit frustrated about like the censorship that happens overseas. So I'm curious as to what this episode is actually going to be called in those countries or in other countries as well. If you have any ideas, leave a comment below what you think it might be called. But again, we've seen a lot of sort of glances at this from that second trailer. So we can really see like the girls fighting over him in the kitchen with the peanut tea towel in the background from the Big Peanut. Also Bluey, like, you know, looking at him in the bathroom. He's doing something disgusting, washing his feet, in the laundry room, I should say. And then Mum at the end burping at the girls and then being like, oh my God, that's disgusting. You know, the show's done burps and farts before, so I'm kind of curious as to like what the disgusting thing with his foot might be and what other kind of things we might see. But I do love that we kind of see that, like, you know, mums can be just as gross as dads. The next episode, 36, is called Dirt. Judo wants to play in the dirt with Bluey and Bingo, but she's not supposed to get dirty. I love that we're getting Judo again. We don't really see a lot of her, even though she is Bluey's next door neighbor. So I'm assuming she's not supposed to get dirty because her mom doesn't want her to get dirty. She's usually a lot more prim and proper. But I don't know, Wendy's been pretty relaxed season 3 so far. So I think it'll be interesting to see Wendy pop up again and what her reaction is. And then for episode 37, it's not titled yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be Waterslide. For those of you who don't know, Waterslide, the actual like black and white animation for it was released on Vimeo ages and ages ago and then like got taken down. But one of you very cheeky dogs managed to screenshot all of it and put it up on Blueypedia. So we've known about this episode for a while, but just didn't know when it was going to come out. And we got on Instagram, again on Blueypod, they showed us an actual colored version of this. So I'm assuming Waterslide is going to be episode 37. So we can see Leela and Bingo there. They're having fun doing like a slippery dip along the backyard. So I think this will be really cute, sort of Bingo-centric episode. And from what we can see on the stills, there's some bugs. We know that Bingo loves bugs as well. There's a butterfly, and I think like the leaf again is going to pop up. So that'll be a really cute episode. Of course, right as I filmed this and I'm starting to edit it, episode 37 has been released on IMDb and it is called The Decider. The Healers and Lucky's family get together to watch the big game, i.e. State of Origin. The next image I'm so excited for is of Bandit and Bluey and Lucky and his dad Pat and his little brother. They're all obviously celebrating the State of Origin. For those of you who are not in Australia, the State of Origin is a 3-part game basically played between Queensland, which is maroon, that's why they're all wearing maroon jerseys and Bandit's coloured all in maroon, and New South Wales, which are blue. So I love that they put this in there. It's a really integral part of us growing up, this State of Origin. I don't watch a lot of rugby, but I watched the State of Origin always growing up. It was a big thing, and Queensland's a pretty good team. As for the other images that have been released that I'm not quite sure where they're gonna fit in yet. So the first one we've got is of them in a car park with mum carrying like all the beach stuff. So I'm assuming this is most likely in South Bank in Brisbane. So they're going to go up to the little South Bank beach there because that makes the most sense. There's lots of underground parking there as well. I'm not quite sure what episode this is going to fit in, but obviously it's one where they're not at home. And then the last image that we don't know where it belongs just yet is one of Bluey playing cricket. You know, there's been loads of references to cricket already throughout season 1, 2, and 3, so I'm glad we're finally actually seeing them play cricket as well. We've got Chloe and Mackenzie in the background. So maybe this might fit in with Turtle Boy, perhaps, because it looks like they're in a park. So maybe this will fit in with what's going on with Bingo and the Turtle later on. I'm not sure, but that or this is, you know, from a future episode. And speaking of future episodes, there's 2 things that we haven't seen pop up yet. And one is that there is an episode that is called The Sign. That hasn't appeared so far in any of the descriptions, so maybe we're not getting that in season 3B, but maybe season 3C will see that. And the other one is the wedding. We know that there is a wedding coming. Joe Brum has said it on multiple different interviews with different podcasters that there will be a wedding. So I honestly think that's going to be the season finale, and I'm assuming it's going to be Uncle Rad and Aunt Frisky and their wedding, which I am super duper excited for. But if it's not their wedding, do you have any other ideas as to whose wedding it might be? Leave that in the comment section down below. As well, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell for notifications to get all of the Bluey content coming out for season 3B. I'm super duper excited for it. I'm going to try and keep it on track. Every single day I'll have a breakdown video. And if you want to do like a live watch along, let me know as well, because I'd be totally down for that. Otherwise, here are some other videos that you might be interested in, and I will see you in another video. Mwah! Bye!